let's just talk about the other side of being married to a pastor. It is no joke. I have a friend who said something really interesting to me pretty recently, and she said the only person who can tell you how loving a man is his wife. And people always feel like just because somebody's a man of God that he's perfect. You are literally being set up for failure because hey there, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and this is Relationship Sam, where we discuss all things love, dating, marriage. Basically, you feel it, we talk about it. Today's video is an extension on the Meagan Good and Devon Franklins series. I know we started off by talking about the lessons that we've learned from their relationship, and then we moved into talking about the truth about celibacy. If you've missed those videos by any chance, I will leave them linked for you in the cards somewhere here and in the description box below, so you can check them out after this one. I'll leave an end card, end screen at the end of this video. I'll leave them linked for you so y'all can just go and check those out. But today I want to talk about the truth about marrying and living with a man of God. So one of the most romantic things to see is to see a man pray, or a man who just loves the Lord. They're so attractive. Men of God are really attractive. If I didn't say it enough, men of God are really attractive. But there's a side to it. There's the reality of actually living and being married to a man of God that a lot of people don't know about, don't talk about, or don't even consider when they're thinking about marrying someone. I personally love the Lord. I just feel like I want to devote my whole life to serving God, but I'm not sure I would want to marry a man of God. I'm not sure I have the strength, the stamina, the everything that it takes to be a pastor's wife. So this is just one of those things that I wanted to sit down and just to talk about for a few minutes, the few minutes that we have together here today, and just shed light and bring light to the other side of being a pastor's wife, that there are great challenges to it. I see that there's a real attack on Meagan Good, but I've been in the church for a while and I've had the privilege for a few years now to be close friends and good friends with pastors' wives. So I've seen things, I've heard things, and I can tell you secondhand, not firsthand, secondhand, it's not easy. Being married to a pastor is great responsibility. It's one of those things that you have to be willing to do. You have to be prepared in spirit, soul, and in body to minister to a man and to share a husband with the whole congregation. A good man of God is someone who loves people. And in loving people, they sometimes don't really maintain that boundary of my home, my family, to protect my wife's space and our space as a family. Everything, yeah. So you're just literally sharing this man with everyone. This is the man that people confide in, people come to him for help, people want to be prayed for. And by the nature of the ministry, it's not an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 job. It's an anytime job. You need your minister over the weekend, you need prayers, you need help, you need anything. The man of God makes himself available for the service of the church. You guys, some of the things that pastors' wives go through, you have no idea. You all have no idea some of the things that they go through. Most pastors, not all, but a lot of pastors actually neglect their family for the church, which should not be so, because the Bible teaches us that one of the qualifications to be a good minister is that you take care of your family, that you take care of your own, and that you prove yourself in that area first, and then you extend into being a minister. I'm not accusing Devon Franklin of neglecting his wife or not being there, but pastors in general. And this is one of those things that if we, as God-fearing women and women who want God-fearing men, this is one of those things that we have to consider. Like, this person might be so devoted to the church, focusing more on the church, on the needs of the church, ministering to people at the church, spending a lot of time at the church, and you can't stop him from that because this is his calling. And being a minister, being a man of God, it's not a hobby, it's not a part-time job, it's not even like a full-time job. It's who you are. As a man of God, you can't say, oh, it's 5 o'clock, I'm out of here. This ministry or this job, I'll call it job, but it extends beyond a 9 to 5. It's not a regular thing. So if you are considering to marry a man of God, just speak to women who are married to pastors and ask them about the reality of that side. Because as much as you may not want to be in ministry, the fact that you're now a minister or a pastor's wife, there's going to be an expectation, and there's going to be not just an expectation, but like calls unto like. You're going to need to minister to each other. You're going to need to grow together. And if you are not growing together, you are growing apart. So another reality of being married to a pastor is that there's certain expectations, great expectations that the church has on their woman of God. They expect her to dress a certain way. There's an expectation for you to show up at places. They expect her to speak a certain way. And a lot of times our expectations are not always scripturally based, but it's just that we have an expectation. So when you decide, or if you decide to marry a pastor or a minister or man of God, you just have to be friendly and talk to everyone and be gentle and to speak like this and wear a big hat. No, I'm kidding on the hat. But it doesn't really leave room for you to express yourself. Say you're somebody who's quite introverted and you're not able to socialize as a pastor's wife does or is expected to. People would judge you by that and say, oh, you don't like people, you're not accommodating, you don't want us into your house, you're not very warm, you're not very, but that's just maybe your personality, and we all have different personalities, to be honest. And it's not everyone who's called to ministry. So there are certain women who love their husbands and that their husbands are pastors, and they're willing to support them. They do everything for them to make sure that the pastor is able to go out and to do the work of the ministry. But they just want to play a supportive role. They just want to support their husband. There are also expectations, funny enough, that as a pastor, you have on your wife. You see, Meagan Good and Devon Franklin have cited irreconcilable differences on their divorce. As they file for divorce, you have to give like a reason. You don't just say, I want a divorce for no reason. They have cited irreconcilable differences. So whatever those differences are, these are expectations, simply unmet expectations. So unfortunately, in being in love, there's certain things that you kind of feel like or think that you can deal with. You can cope with this, or this will change, or you will change this. You may not say it outright, but there's certain things that, a lot of things, that we don't really discuss and really express. And one of my questions that I want to know, I wonder if Devon Franklin and Meagan Good actually had these deliberate conversations about their expectations. He married into Hollywood. He knew what he was getting himself into. I'm just speculating. Maybe Devon Franklin was saying that he's okay with her and accepting her as she is, that she doesn't have to change. She can still dress as nice as she dresses. She can still do whatever movies that she wants to, because these are some of the things we've heard in interviews. He said that outright. So maybe he was comforting her and telling her that. But meanwhile, he actually desired to have a woman who'll be into ministry with him. If Devon Franklin communicated to his wife that you dress how you want, regardless of what the church will say, it's kind of like being set up for failure. You are literally being set up for failure, because there's an expectation that the world now has of you as their pastor's wife. Whatever happened, the fact is, it's not easy to be married to a man of God. And from the interviews that I've seen and heard that Meagan Good was saying that she was not going to church a lot because she got a lot of criticism from the church. You see, there's an expectation. How can you have a man of God coming to church alone, still operate as if you're single, and be alone in those critical moments when the ministry is growing? So you need a wife who's going to be there, who's going to pray with you, who's going to want to see you succeed in that. You're going to need to grow together. And if you are not growing together, you are growing apart. So whoever it is that you're marrying, as women, we are so blessed with the right of first choice. When you're choosing who to marry, between all the suitors, all the guys who are coming to you, just consider the fact that To whom much is given, much is expected. Anyway, guys, we'll talk more about this later. In the meantime, subscribe, hit the notification bell, chat with me in the comment section below, and I will see you on the next one.